Hi, my name is Liza, and we're here at Big Bone Lick State Historic Site with Claire to talk about the park's history and how it became the birthplace of American vertebrate paleontology. Can you tell me about the history of the site and how it got the name Big Bone Lick?
Big Bone has a very vast history. We start from around 450 million years ago, starting with Ordovician fossils, which the Cincinnati area is famous for. And then we move into our Pleistocene animals, our megafauna. That's what Big Bone is most known for. And that's the interaction of our Ice Age animals like the mammoth and mastodon coming down here for our salt springs due to their need for salt. And so that's where our name comes from. So Big Bone, from the bones left behind. And then Lick is another name for a salt spring, and that's from people viewing animals licking the water and licking the mud. And after the Pleistocene, we had a lot of famous figures interested in Big Bone, like George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Lewis and Clark both made a visit here to Big Bone to collect bones, Thomas Jefferson, and many others. And then we also had the escape of Mary Draper Ingalls here in 1755. And then we move into years of excavations and discoveries, and we eventually became a park in 1960.
Can you tell us more about Lewis and Clark's connection to the site?
A lot of people aren't aware that both Lewis and Clark came here right from the famed Lewis and Clark expedition. Lewis would have came first in 1803. He was on his way to Louisville to meet with Clark, where they would then pick the infamous 9 men from Kentucky. Lewis was requested by Jefferson to make a stop here because Jefferson had been hearing about all of the bones being discovered, and especially at that point in time, we didn't know a lot of those animals. Jefferson had a really keen interest and wanted his own collection. So Lewis collected from Dr. William Goforth's collection out of Cincinnati. He sent those to Jefferson via a ship. However, that shipment actually sank on the Mississippi near the Natchez Trace in Tennessee, and that particular collection was never recovered. So then Lewis and Clark go on their grand expedition, and they come back. And afterwards, Jefferson is still looking for that collection of bones here from Big Bone, so he sends William Clark and his brother George Rogers Clark here in 1807. And when they first arrived, the site at that point had been really pillaged. There weren't a lot of significant bones left on the surface to send to Jefferson. So it's then that they start digging, and they spend about 2 weeks digging up to 8 to 11 feet into the earth. And it's then that they started finding a whole treasure trove of bones. And so they sent several shipments to Jefferson, but unfortunately some shipments from the William Clark collection were also lost in shipping accidents. But thankfully, several shipments did make it to Jefferson, and it's through those collections that we were able to later identify the American mastodon, the Harlan's ground sloth, and many other new species. It's that Lewis and Clark dig of 1807 that makes Big Bone Lick the birthplace of American vertebrate paleontology.
When did Big Bone Lick become a state historic site, and didn't it just earn another designation?
Big Bone actually has a very interesting story of how it joined the Kentucky State Park system. It was a huge push by the community. So the Big Bone Lick Association was formed, and they were able to purchase around 16 acres to start the interest in a park here. And later the Kentucky State Park system was able to purchase more acres. And so we were officially designated as a park July 1, 1960. We hold a lot of other recognitions, including our newest one, which would be our National Historic Landmark, which we received in the fall of 2024. And that's due to the site's, again, significant fossil collection and abundance here, and then the animals that were discovered. These fossils really made a huge difference in our understanding of paleontology and extinction today. We hear all the time from our local community, I haven't been to Big Bone in 15 years, or I went there when I was a kid and I haven't been back since. We've had a lot of great upgrades, including our museum being redone. We have some new structures here, like our bison observation deck. So I would say definitely come out and check out what's going on if you haven't been out in a while. My biggest connection with what I'd like guests to know is not maybe a specific topic, but more so there's so many facets of history and geology and these of paleontology that really formed here that if you're not quite interested in the history side, you might be more interested in the fossils. Really something here for everybody to discover and enjoy.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like some more information, you can visit us at Boone County Public Library.